business.
We're live. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have one item on the agenda. Mandy Jackson's president of the Planning and Zoning had asked that we have a special meeting to, like, she has something she wants to share with us.
Yeah.
From Mandy.
Well, thanks for coming in on your extra time. I know that's difficult, and Buddy's time is valuable. Mandy Jackson, President of the Planning Commission. As most of you guys know, we have been working towards fulfilling the position of the building administration that had retired last year. The idea was to kind of proceed forward. Maybe we've had some other ideas that came down the pike. And going backwards, we're trying to come up with maybe a streamlined solution, limit some finances, maybe save the county some money, and kind of make it a little bit more user-friendly for the community, as well as ease of access. With it being part-time previously, I think it was only 15 hours per week. This would then give maybe an option to 24 hours a day they could access the option to get a permit. That's pretty much what the building administration was doing, like, daily. There's some other activities that are involved there as well. I did provide Mr. Dotson, he's the secretary of our board. He came up with a really great plan, as well as a nice little spreadsheet that makes it easy to understand. The idea would be to streamline it to technology and put it on our website. We currently have a website for the county. This would just be kind of on our landing page. We have a landing page now for the Planning Commission. But then this would give the community the option to go online, initiate your building permit. Obviously, there's steps you have to take before, but it would explain all of that on there. It also would then initiate them the option to either, he has talked to Ongen with Ann Island, and the option to either download a printable PDF or to be able to just type in and fill out what they're doing. It would then have links there where they could go to look at our zoning laws to make sure that they're in qualifications. It would have some information links, some other things there that you can see on the pamphlet, how you would start that. It would then give us the option, we would probably create an email just for the Planning Commission. That way they would get automatic notification that it was submitted. It would then give them information quickly on what's the next steps, where they need to pay. They would pay the treasurer's office. It would then send us an email that they had to initiate that. So that we could get them anything they needed printable wise or the permit actual for posting. Trying to streamline the concept of a building permit for the community. We don't have a building inspector, so this is kind of like your biggest hands-on that the building administration does. They would review, they would have links there where they could submit their drawings. So there's options there if you're building a new plot, on a plot that you needed to build new. It would be that as well, making sure they had gotten with the health department if they're putting in new sanitation and that sort of things. It would initiate all that. This would then maybe assist us into an ease of access for the community, make it a little bit easier for the community. Right now, it's just kind of been filled in by the commissioner. I had filtered quite a few emails, phone calls, questions about our zoning laws and things like that. Obviously on a volunteer basis, I did some of that. Then the question was, if there was a complaint, say somebody's within zoning laws or against our zoning laws and things like that, maybe they're zone residential, they're trying to do a commercial, then when initiate contact for that, one of our board members, the idea would be then to stipend, a set stipend amount, and then mileage, we would address those. This last year, there's been just a handful of complaints, there's not as many, and most of them are just addressed with a phone call or hey, this is how this works. There are some other steps that takes and some other complaints that we've had, but then that would just kind of address it to where the board members would then pick that up. I'm not saying this is a long-term idea, and we're going to try to readdress it maybe every quarterly, see how every few months, making sure it's still rolling well, that the concept is still seamless, that we don't have any complaints as far as that goes, and for the community. And then we did actually, Mr. Dotson reached out to Ann Island. I do think the council had approved some upgrades to the website. He said that all of the stuff we're asking for actually would fall underneath that. So we wouldn't be asking for additionals potentially for the actual website building itself. It would just be that we would be able to stipend the $30 per stipend, and that's unlimited on that, just per stipend. And then the mileage for what the county charged, and I heard rumor it was around 49 cents a mile or something to that effect. If they had to drive out to the county and get on site, take pictures and bring it back to the board, as far as that goes.
So the work on this would already be included in what we budgeted already.
Right.
That's to my understanding. Anjan did email, which I probably should have printed that email for you, but he did email, said it sounds like everything that we're looking to do that Bill had worked up here for us, that they would be able to do that within that budget that we've already set into place. It'd be part of our, so
Right.
you're
Yeah,
not
I can
looking
see where
at.
this is really streamlined, but for those people who aren't real tech savvy,
Good question.
they could go back and do it the other way or have.
There is, yes, that is the other thing we did address. There are some individuals who
Right.
do not utilize internet for different reasons. And so we would have a packet, just like they do now, to
Sure,
get a packet. We would have that available. They have to go to the treasurer's office to pay for this. Also, we would have packets. The idea would have some available at the sanitation department as well that they could pick up, print. It's already printed and ready for them. They could fill it out and submit that back to the treasurers, just like they would normally now for payment. So to kind of, most people have access to internet, but there are some that just do not use it.
I think she's wanting to do this like, on like, kind of like a trial basis, see how,
The idea was, we've kind of been floating it around as it is now, just kind of piggybacking off of some just volunteers
Right.
working towards it. And everyone, the general public is still going out to the office and things like that. So this would be something that would just be trying to see how it would go. I don't know that it's the final solution, and maybe there's some hiccups. The board did vote unanimous, which is ironic that they would unanimously vote that this was the best plan for our board for now,
I think
for
it sounds
that
good.
administration.
One thing we need to check, and on the liability aspect, with the mileage, Mandy's going out to look at a complaint and we're paying her mileage and she's involved in an accident. I just want to make sure
Well,
we're
no,
covered.
I know what you're saying. If they're on a run for county business, if the liability will extend.
We need to make sure. I'm
Yeah,
not
I mean,
saying,
yeah, we need to
and some
make
people's
sure.
gonna say, well, it's no different
Right.
than you driving to French Lake.
Right.
Okay.
If
If
you're
you wanna
reimbursed
be,
for a county
if you wanna
function,
assume
then
that
the
liability and
should
say
extend.
that, that's fine. I'm not going to.
Right.
I think Bill's done a hell of a job with all this. He's done wonderful. And I voted for it, but I've thought about it, but we need to verify with an attorney or
Right.
the insurance company or somebody that we're covered, or whoever is the person. I sit on the planning zoning, but whichever one of us goes out,
It could be any
it's
of them.
not a liability.
Yeah.
It's such a liability world, everybody knows that. But other than that, I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's, great.
So do you,
Who wants to have, check on that with the attorney or do you?
well, I can check, I have
Contact Rod. have-
Contact.
I'll make a motion, I
Yeah,
guess,
well, I can
Maybe
do
I
that.
contingent on
on
that being okay.
being, once it's cleared legally that the mileage is fine, doing county business in your personal vehicle.
I assume there's probably some scenarios like that already now.
Yeah,
Not
we
everybody
need
has a
to-
county vehicle.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's real similar.
Yeah, we just need to verify that it's okay.
We have a lot of that going on now.
I assume as much, yeah, but I don't, in the
Right.
end, it's board members and
Yeah.
we're on appointed positions versus some other stuff, so I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I'll make a motion that, fine, that we move on it.
I'll second that.
The zoning board moves on.
Yeah.
okay, motion by Keith, second by Paul, to approve of this based on, make sure they're recovered liability as far as mileage or
Move forward
whatever.
with it.
Okay, any other discussion?
One other thing too, is to check with him, and if a person would go out and say everything's, it's a predicament on a building permit, and a person goes out and makes the wrong call as far as property lines go,
Well, I don't,
the liability on
to
that.
address that, I don't think that we're looking to make a single sole decision on it. We would bring it back before the board to address the complaint. I think that's the idea. I don't think that any one
But
person.
complaints and permits both. I just want to make sure we're covered. I want to move forward with it and everything. I voted for it,
Yeah,
and like I said, Bill done a heck of a job. I mean, it's the right way for us to go now. At least there's it's more available than what it is today.
And I mean, down the road, hopefully infrastructure builds up. We have to one day hopefully hire an inspector and a plan commission. I mean, that or a building administrator. That would be the idea. But right now, I think to filter the minimal amount that we have right now, this would be the easiest, most effective.
Okay.
David, would workman's comp also fall into that, or they would get hurt out taking pictures, or would that also be an issue? Need to be
You
looked
check
at?
into it.
I don't know, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I mean, we wanna do it, we just wanna make sure we're doing it right,
Sure.
covering all the bases.
And we can check on all that. So I would call for a vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. I guess that concludes the meeting.
Motion
Thank you for
adjourned.
coming.
Thank you very much, Mandy. Appreciate it.
Manny, thanks for all you do.
Motion
I'll
Appreciate
second
that. Bill did a
whichever
great
one.
job with that, too.
Motion made.
Motion by Key, second by Stan. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know special meeting. No, I can understand.
You need that, so you want to.
I do.
Everybody has a copy. If not, I can run it. I figured, yeah, I knew you had.
Please don't run off, I need your signature.
Everybody has something.
Hey, Lisa?
Perfect.
I need those, yeah,
The
Christie.
one I would sign, but the other one I wouldn't.
Thanks, Mandy.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll do the
She
council,
said to have, okay.
but I wouldn't be
No, I
signing,
don't need you, you signed it before.
Okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't be signing the utilities for the courthouse.
Well, yeah, we'll have her email that.
Well, hopefully I got it. I can get it.
I don't know, she told me to have you sign it.
I wouldn't sign that. I wouldn't think.
So would you have to get up from your
Is
desk?
that the commissioner's problem?
Oh, well, no, I actually, from delaying my lunch.
Where's that coming
Well,
from?
we're county council. Perry County Council. That's where we had to do the, additional $15,000 for the utilities for the end of the year.
Why would the council sign that?
We did it at the meeting, we talked about it at the meeting.
Yeah, but why would the council sign it?
I don't know, she has it. That's,
Department is courthouse.
okay.
Why would the council be requesting that? I can see
So we pay the
this.
bills, so we pay the utility bills, I don't know.
I guess it doesn't matter. I guess I can
I
sign
don't
it.
know, you mean, I'm just ask her if you want, I'm just take it back.
I'm not following that line. Let's sign that. I never have.
Okay,
But, if I need to, I can stop by. I'm in town all the time.
alrighty.
I just thought it sounds like more like a commissioner would sign that, but I don't know.
I don't know, I'm just following my orders.
Yeah, it probably doesn't hurt to check on this liability stuff, but I would think we've already,
Did I
we're already
really
doing
not
it.
end it? Did I just